It's Alysia, Nora, and Macy on our little green couch.
Ready to talk weekly gossip from behind the chair.
Have a drink or 10 and get ready for the journey.
Join us on the floor with Little Fern.
Welcome in.
Tonight we are drinking, it's called Angelique.
It is.
Thank you, Alysia. This was a present.
Do you know why it's called sparkler and not champagne? Because only champagne can come from Champagne. Yeah.
We explain that.
The region of Champagne.
The region of Champagne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, we're gonna act like I know that.
That's why sometimes they call it like brut.
Brut.
Well, brewed is a type of champagne. Nora.
Is it coming?
Well, no, but they can't say champagne on it.
So
Guys.
Delightful. This is a delightful sparkler.
it is the best.
We are lucky to be participating in this.
It is the best. It is almond and it is wonderful. Only the finest for our graduate.
Yes, Macy graduated from college.
I'm a big college grad now, guys.
Come on in. Welcome on into Little Fern. Grab your bevy and your seat and get ready for the ride.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Lots to catch up on, everybody. So put your seatbelts on and grab a drink.
May is busy. You know what I mean? So
May is busy, but damn, I'm so glad it's May and not April because April was so fucking busy.
Macy, how does it feel to be a graduate?
It feels good, but honestly, like it hasn't really registered. I feel like, the festivities that I had for my graduation was really fun. But ever since, I feel like everything's kind of the same. Which I
But
feel like
those
that's kind of-
photos were so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, I took some pictures with Thomas Photography around here, and we went to GSU, which is where I went to school.
summertime is for patios and margaritas and all the bevies you have out on patios where you drink outside, except for if you're in the Midwest. And right now we are in cicada season. We are really giving Pacific Northwest right now. We are really giving
Definitely.
serious Pacific Northwest. We are giving Twilight the movie, Rain, Oregon. My dream would be made if all of a sudden I was in Twilight. Some nice fanfic. Oh my God, why
Are you
didn't...
Team Jacob or are you Team Edward? Because I swear to fucking God, if you're Team Jacob, I'm gonna kill you.
No, I was never Team Jacob. Get out of here.
God, he's annoying. He's such a pick-me.
You know who's a pygmy? Speaking of a pygmy. Raise your hand if everyone out on podcast land could tell that Macy was a pygmy. Just kidding. I always felt like Bella was a pygmy.
I was the most annoyed with her. None of the men.
Honestly, Dad was hot. Dad was hot as fuck. I had a client say that they were, as a family, going to watch ironic movies all together, and the one that they picked was Twilight. And I said, "Excuse me, I'm offended by that statement." I didn't.
Is that like
I said, "Oh, I watch it unironically. Like I watch it to." I also read the books. Like I committed and committed. We can do like a play-by-play of all of Twilight. I feel like right now we can really just spend this whole podcast just talking Twilight. Chapter 1 and scene. This week's book club. I'm just kidding.
Movies in a while, so I feel like it was necessary.
It was needed.
It felt
I mean, those are always
great for you guys.
Yeah, those are always like those, like, if they're on, I'm watching it kind of like scenarios. I also feel like it's of the age, and not to be like that's like it makes it okay, but I do feel like if I remember correctly, those years of my life had a lot of drinking, crying.
That's funny because I recall just a few years ago when you were drinking and crying quite a bit on your birthday.
Nora's really pushing very hard to talk about this one birthday.
I just think Macy's never heard the story before. This is the first moment where Alysia got us hooked on Betty Who. And she said for her birthday, we're going to go downtown and we're going to go see Betty Who at the Chicago Theater and we're going to spend the night. And then we decided also that we would book the next day at a spa at Air Bath and get massages and spend the next day at the bathhouse. And
Doesn't that sound like a lovely day?
yeah,
It sounds
It
magical.
sounds like you're fucking bougie.
Sounds
Right.
magical.
But also, you guys are in your 30s, so it's like.
Sounds. Were we at that
Are you in
point?
your 30s?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like.
How many years ago? I feel like. Well, I want it to be because it needs to be that many years behind me for this story to be okay.
You should be real dramatic.
Well, it was about
Small
5.
section
It
of
had
the
to be about 5 years ago now because Owen's 6. He's gonna be 6. So it's almost 6 years ago.
No.
No,
No.
but it was Brittany's first outing after having him.
Yes.
So you have to think it's got to be 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So yes, so it was a long time ago now. Thank you very much.
So we get to the city. We are jazzed. We check into our weird non-check-in hotel Airbnb thingy.
It was kind of giving hostile. It
Yeah.
was like giving like a hostile situation, but it kind of gave that vibe. Like it was like they had no front desk. It was like a weird check-in. It was weirdly decorated. It was a very strange place. And first that gave like, oh, okay. And then it was a Wednesday. I want to say it was in the middle of the week. Thursday?
Yeah.
Wednesday or Thursday?
She'd be doing these concerts on Thursday.
Yeah, they were. It was a lot of people do.
So we decide we're going to go to this restaurant that's right down the way. And we also shopped a little bit. And we decided, let's get seafood before we start drinking for the evening.
Worst idea was like seafood appetizers.
Appetizers only.
We just did like past heavy hors d'oeuvres. Let's call it like we did the beginning of your wedding, where it was like, where it was like a past heavy hors d'oeuvre hour.
In seafood form.
Ooh, so was it like calamari, ahi tuna, like that stuff?
It was like oysters or something like that.
Ooh.
So we end up eating fast because I think we had to get there.
Yep, and we have cocktails.
Oh, get lots of cocktails.
And then we get to the venue, and inside the venue, we got mixed drinks, not canned beverages.
Tito's and soda to be exact. Double Tito's and soda.
But the doubles weren't really doubles; they were more like triples.
Venue.
That was my go-to beverage before I had Willow, is a double Tito's and soda.
Well, and I think that was the reason we got it, was because you just wanted a little bit larger of a beverage, so you weren't needing to get a beverage all the time.
Yes.
Was our thought process.
Yeah.
But instead, we really hadn't eaten, so we were just, I think, filling up on booze.
Not to mention, we sat in a section that a server came to your seat while the concert was going on.
I'm sorry. What
Yeah.
place is this?
So, well, I'm going to tell you right now, you gotta pay attention to your Spotify when you can get pre-sale tickets from who you listen to most on Spotify. Don't be skipping out on those. So this is where I got these tickets from. I love those. So anyways, this was a pre-saled thanks from Betty Who. You listen to her incessantly. Do you want to get these tickets? And I said, yes, please. And I got them so far in advance. I said, I'll just force my friends to go with me. And they were great seats.
It was amazing. We were like hovering over her from a
Was it
balcony.
like a box sort of seat,
Kind
like
of.
a falcon.
So
Like
then-
when you're in the
Kind of,
theater,
but not
and
really.
it's like the little
Yes, because it was a theater
section.
So then, yeah. And then
with
A bunch of
other people.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a big, like, separate booth.
assume that everyone in our section was also with like a Spotify pre-sale ticket holder, like kind of a thing. And we got a server. So then you never had to get out of your seat.
But
That
then
is
we all
literally,
kept
like,
ordering.
It got scary because every single time he walked by, it felt like open bar style where you felt like you had to get a drink because they walked by.
We danced a lot. It was so much fun.
Betty Who, so much fun. It
Yeah.
is so much fun.
This is what entered my obsession with her.
So much fun. You will never not be one of my favorite artists to go see.
Agreed.
So much fun.
So the concert, amazing. we had so many drinks coming that we ended up having to give them to the people in front of us.
We were giving them more.
Yeah. So we finally ended that.
I'm sorry. What?
We made friends with these cute guys in front of us, and we just ended up giving them our drinks because we had so many extra drinks.
I think it's because like one person would be like another round.
And they wouldn't pay attention to the fact that like we had already yes. So it was just like yeah. So it wasn't like we were just being dicks. It was just like we were just kind of like
I think we were paying like cash every time it came around.
I don't think we got.
I feel like it was like $50 for a round.
I don't think we got that wild, but like it was crazy. So we left, and what we should have done was what any normal 30-year-olds would have done was go back to the hotel and get like a pizza.
Yeah.
Because it was like a reasonable time. But
Get a pizza, have a couple drinks, and you can even go out afterwards.
no, we should have just went to bed.
That's my.
Should have just went to bed. Because yes, you're 22. We are not. But instead, we said, let's go to another bar.
We said gay pop, let's go to another gay bar.
We went to
Let's
hydrate.
We went to spin.
I thought we went to hydrate.
Spin.
Yeah, I told you
My
that.
sister doesn't work there anymore now. She just got a new
I
job.
thought we went to hydrate. Maybe it was spin.
Either way,
Or does it matter?
what were we doing there is the question.
It was so much fun, but it was fun in a way where we shouldn't be there any longer, only because we had already reached our max capacity of beverages.
And what does Brittany do? She says, we need shots of tequila.
Brittany's like a shots of tequila girl, but it wasn't like one round of shots of tequila. It was like many.
And it wasn't tequila of our choice. It was, they only had Jose Cuervo. So we danced, we had shots of tequila, and then we're all wasted, just wasted. And we're on our way out, and these two girls, as per usual, are like, let's keep going out. So we end up back at the place that we had appetizers at, because they have like an underground bar, and I'm like done at that point. I'm ready to just vomit in the streets. And these girls are ready to keep going. And Brittany was very like, this is my first weekend away. I want to continue partying. And I'm like, I think we already are. Like, let's close it down. So I think that bar was probably closing, to be honest. Like, I'm pretty sure the lights, nobody was in there. It was just us. And we were right there by our little weird hostel thing. So, so we go back. We're kind of in a fragile state at this point because we knew we had been out too long, but there's just this like whole turn up energy that we should still turn up. So, we get back to the hotel. I am just like, let's settle down because I need to start throwing up in the shower. And I need everybody to like stop bickering, aka Alysia and Brittany were bickering with one another.
About what?
To be honest, looking back,
That's where it gets really hazy.
no recollection of why. I think I was angry we left the bar.
Yes.
I think I was angry we left the bar, and I think Brittany's angry at me for being angry that we left the bar, and that she and that she is wanting me to be thankful that she's even I have her presence.
Grateful I'm out here.
Yes.
Speaking out for having a baby.
Amen.
You did say that.
100,000,000%.
And then I was trying to mediate and get everybody to settle down.
Guys, can we all just be friends, okay?
And then Brittany said, of course you're defending her.
You thought you were trying to take a side.
And I was just like, I really just need to throw up in the bathroom nonstop for the next 2 hours. That's really my goal here. So then
God,
it really
there's more. I did not know there'd be more.
it spiraled. Alysia was ready to leave.
I don't like being trapped, is really what I realized in this scenario. And what Nora was doing by trying to mediate was that she was like holding me.
I did. I think I might have hugged her at one point.
And
So that's a no-no.
and I really just wanted to vacate. And I probably just really you know what I really wanted to do is probably just go cry in the hall.
Yes. But instead of just going and crying in the hall,
Did you get the zoomies and run?
no, she thought that she should call the police.
Sorry, what? Out of all the things that you could call. Wow. Do you remember calling?
She did call the police, you guys. She called the police. And Brittany's like, my friends make me.
No.
She said, like, I want to.
No, I didn't. Like, what ended up happening was this. I think I just wanted to leave. You guys weren't letting me leave. And then I decided that my very rational brain at that point thought 911 would be my friend. And then Brittany did the letter. Just letter. Except Brittany style. Letter. Letter.
Nora.
Fucking letter.
I could see her take
Letter.
Letter.
And I did. And then I think I immediately hung up. But, that doesn't work. So they call back.
Call you back, but they also track your phone.
Yeah,
Like,
they call you back. So they call back and they call the hotel back. So they don't call your room back, but they call your hotel back, and then the hotel knows what room called.
Yeah, it was not on her cell phone. It was on the hotel.
It was the hotel room.
So the police come to our room.
So two very handsome young police officers come.
Then you're probably like sobbing, your face all
We are so gross, the three of us by this point. And we can't even really formulate like what's actually happening. We're just more that like we're upset and I just want to go home. And then they're like, we'll just let her go home. And then
They were prepared to just let her go home. And we're like,
bye, take an Uber or something.
in her say so.
Bye, bitch.
100%. So this cop got me. Well, I also just got kicked out of the hotel by that point.
Because you were being so like
Because we caused a scene, so they wanted me out. So regardless, I didn't have a choice. Like I had to leave by that.
I got accused of stealing her identification only because I was holding everybody's IDs in my wallet, and like they're like, why do you have her stuff? Why are you holding on to this?
Oh, I was saying not by me.
No, by the police. They were wondering why I had your ID, and I was like, because we were like sharing a purse.
So then it got to the point where like I actually had to leave. So then I got my stuff, and these very nice gentlemen who, by the way, had full body cam. So this whole thing was being recorded, which looking back is fucking hilarious. But like they were very nice. They like
crying.
100%. I mean, I am like uncontrollably sobbing. I have zero control over my emotions now at this point. The floodgates have opened. This is why we talked about this. Is why I don't just sit around and cry all the time. This is what it would look like. And it was just me crying. And I think these guys were like this one. I'm sure they have wives or girlfriends and they don't know what to do when a female's crying that heavily and not exactly. So they take me downstairs and the hotel guy was being really like rude to the officers by this point, pretty much like get this bitch out of the hotel room kind of thing. And the officers were just like, give this girl a fucking minute. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't causing like a scene. I was just I was in my emotional. And so this cop gets me into an Uber, gets my number, like my address of where I'm going. The cop then takes a picture of the Uber driver and all of his information is like, if I don't find out she gets home, I'm coming after you. Like, I think he felt really like she needs to get home. I need to make sure she gets home. Yeah, we need to make sure she gets home. So then I just get into the car and I just start calling every single person in my phone to cry to. My mom, Luke, like everyone. Yeah, I got home and it was like now like 6 a.m. because it's like morning time. Because it was like this happened like in the morning.
Wait, so were you guys still at the hotel? Like, you guys was a thing. You just weren't?
So for my birthday, I got kicked out of the hotel. Had to take an Uber back home. Then my husband was just mad at me when I got home and then said, you'll be fine with your friends tomorrow morning. I don't even want to hear about this. Just go to bed.
Then I got to get back to my dream scenario where I was throwing up in the shower. So I did that. And then I think I remember just going to bed probably naked next to Brittany and woke up in the morning. Like, what do we do? How do we go about?
How do we fix this?
Also, we're going to lose like $500 on our spa appointment if we don't show up to it. So like, do me and Brittany just go? Yeah, Brittany called her and made her come back to the city. So she did.
Be home for like 3 hours, sleeping off, come back. Hey guys.
She took another Uber back to the city. And I went to a nice spa day with my friends.
Yeah, we had a great rest of the day at the
You
spa.
guys even like talk about it, or you guys was like, oh, that was weird. Let's move on.
I'm pretty sure we laughed about it, to be honest. I think there was a lot of laughing. There was a lot of like, well, that was weird. Because nothing happened that was like, no one did anything to anyone.
No.
Like nothing.
911.
Nothing.
Do it.
The best is Brittany. Let her. Just let her. Let her. She wants to, just let her. Like, it's a very Brittany, like.
But yeah, you probably were just doing it, and then you're like, oh fuck, I actually did it. Oh fuck. No, and then I feel like even so, like, were you even expecting the cops to show up?
Hell no. I have 2 police officer parents and they don't come to my aid when I need help. And secondly, like, my phone has accidentally called 911 in my back pocket like 30 times and no one has ever called me back and or checked on my ass. So why in this, for instance, did I ever think that something was going to happen? And in my brain, I will tell you, I have never thought to call 911, tried to call 911, or called 911 unless I needed 911. So I don't know why in this particular case I decided
Nobody else is gonna help you.
911.
Didn't talk about this, but we had an incident a couple weeks ago where we were walking on a walk in our subdivision, and Bill and I saw this guy like kind of running into the subdivision, and he had a hood on, he had a bag in his hand, like a weird like black mesh bag. And he saw us walking towards him. And he's like running through a field off of the main road. And then he kind of stopped for a minute and we kept walking. We were like staring at him and talking about him. So I don't know if he heard us. And then he kind of like hid, like he walked in front of a truck that was parked and hid in front of it and was like looking out at the street.
Really, that's a really good hiding spot, buddy.
So then Bill's like, I'm fucking running home, getting the gun. And I'm like, Bill, don't get the gun. Let's just go back home. And he's like, the one time I'm not packing. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so dramatic.
Like it's a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Dude, what is he gonna do? Like point his gun at him and be like,
I think,
you get out of there.
no, I think he was thinking of like he came at us. So we keep walking and this kid is like being sketchy and weird and like running down like another street. And we saw him run down the next street that we weren't on yet. And I started walking back home because of course Bill's jogging home to get the Glock. And I'm like, I think the walk is over now.
Jogging home to just go get his gun.
Just a light jog for a clock.
So he sees me. We're coming back to meet each other. I'm getting closer to the house. The guy comes around the other block to go onto the other main road. And Bill throws his phone at me and tells me to call 911. He's basically already dialed it. I get the phone. I hang up immediately. They called me right back.
Yeah, because they don't play around. They said, did somebody hang it up on you? You know, like, are you in
Said, shit. Well, now I have to answer. So I answered and said, there's a suspicious blah. It was really weird. And all of a sudden, this other guy comes from the other side of the subdivision running towards us. Are you on the phone with the police? The sheriff is on his way. The sheriff's on his way. That guy's wanted. And I was like, wanted?
What the fuck? I mean, he's acting like he's wanted, though. I'm just saying running and hiding behind a car like that. And
Yeah. No, he just kind of like stopped on the main road, and I don't know
I'm
what.
sorry, excuse me. So is that like his knapsack from prison then?
No.
Is that like his like
Was
it all of his belongings? Was it like yeah? You have to be more specific.
Specific.
It was like a tote bag. It was like a mesh tote bag. That was the other thing. What I forgot to say. Before he hid behind the truck, he threw the bag into the field, and then he hid behind the truck. Turns out, all of a sudden, a sheriff comes flying. The lady on the phone, after I explained, she's like, I said, I think somebody's on their way already. And she was like, let me check back to make sure. do you see the sheriff? And then all of a sudden I see a sheriff squad car come flying through the subdivision towards him. They had just robbed the Dollar General. Him and I saw a white car come flying down the street, and I was like, he's gonna pick him up. That's his pickup car. And the car stopped right in front of the guy, honked for like the guy to get in. The guy said go, and the car took off running. Yeah, I narked somebody.
But I mean, like, fair enough.
I felt bad. He was probably like a 15, 16-year-old kid.
I mean,
Bill's like, that's how they start. I felt very guilty because I was like, now I'm the start of putting this little kid in juvie.
His actions put him in juvie.
Yeah,
what do
that's
you
what
mean,
Bill said.
Nora?
Yeah, that's what Bill said. But then I was like, fuck, he sees where we live. Now they're going to come back through the back fence and get us. I just have flashbacks of the old.
Well, now you're in a new hood.
This hood's softer.
Not according to people robbing fucking Dollar Trees.
If you ask anybody on the Dyer, Indiana page, they would tell you that they were coming from the Illinois border.
They always are going to say that. You know why? Because we always want to blame other people. You never want to look inside at the. Yeah, you never want to say like, oh, it could have been my neighbor. You always want to say it has to be somebody else. Yeah, naturally.
It is accurate because my border is Illinois.
I also watched A Dateline, which is very reminiscent of this.
From across the border.
Not that the podcast world will ever know, but this is one of our first times doing a podcast when it's daylight.
Yeah, I was really wanting to mention that repeatedly that we're doing it during the
going
day.
through a lot of changes right now, which a lot of them I've yet to know, which is giving me just a tiny bit of anxiety.
You know all of the changes.
I don't know all.
Well, it kind of offers us like the darkness offers us like a cover, like a mask, like we're under like darkness. Yes. And so yeah, it's like a strangeness. Like the On the Floor podcast kind of felt very like after dark, it's bedtime, we're telling stories. And right now it feels very like exposed because it's daylight and people can see us. It just has a very different vibe. It's a very different vibe.
It's also different now that I'm like feeling tipsy while it's like this bright outside. Because I'm like,
It's like Raccoon when they like see you in the daylight.
Alysia just came home from vacation.
And then I got you guys.
Oh, so amazing!
Guys, I've been putting off.
Yes, I knew the pink were going to be yours. This is a dangerous color for me, but I'll wear them.
I feel like
I'll wear the whites. Alysia really wants me to wear socks when I'm doing Pilates, but I am a very I like to be barefoot as much as possible kind of a gal.
Okay, so I would like to point this out that I asked my loving husband, who does a lot for he has a pretty big job in media, and I needed help getting a good job title for Macy. One, because I felt like she does so much for us and she will be doing so much for us, and it was kind of hard for us to narrow down. We hate the titles that are kind of out there for the salon world. They're pretty terrible.
Frontline coordinator.
They're also probably not super transferable for like other stuff.
They're pretty terrible. And so Luke literally said to me, tell me every single thing she's going to do for you, and I will give you what those equate to in the world.
Yeah.
And I said, sounds good. And I rattled off everything, and they said, perfect. It's literally 2 jobs in one, and that'll be great for her.
I think it's most importantly he helped you find a title so that Macy can go somewhere with it and not just we can't just hear vibe creator.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Exactly. So I want the world to know that I thought it was very important to not just put her in a role that does really nothing for her later on.
Which I want you guys to know. I do really appreciate it.
Because a lot of times in our industry, the jobs are weird and they don't really mean much, and then they're strange, and then they're not very helpful to continue on to do other things. And so although we are kind of melding a few roles for Macy, we also want them to translate into another career for her down the line, whenever that is, in 9 years. But now I want to play the fun game of Macy trying to guess her job title.
I don't know, because I just feel like for me, I'm gonna be too narrow when I feel like I should be more broad. But what only thing broad I can think about is because I'm a communications major is communications. Because I know communications, people are like, what the fuck does that mean? You know how to communicate? And I'm like, baby, no, that's not even for me. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I'm like, I don't even know why like administrative something is coming to mind.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's not even like okay, but like when will I be able
Maybe
to
you'll start. Maybe you'll start have to like Googling things and look up
Me and Alicia have to have another meeting.
soon.
But yeah, because I was gonna say, have you guys had your meeting after your meeting with Scott?
No, I
Oh,
fucked
okay.
up because I was throwing up all day yesterday.
That's not a fuck up.
Yeah,
That just
life
life
happens.
happens. Yes.
We're not mad about
Don't
it.
say you fucked up, because honestly, I would much rather you be on the toilet throwing up than worrying about some other fucking thing. Because, like, at that point, I'm like, fuck all life. I just want to throw up.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, like, we really don't have to have a million more meetings about the meetings. We're pretty solid on the situation here.
I'm excited. I'm just a little nervous because I just don't want to disappoint you guys. I think that's my biggest thing is I really don't want to, like, we can get into Macy's feels right now. I just don't want to, like let you guys down, you know? Like, you guys, like, always hype me up and you're, like, starting a whole new position for me. And then I'm like, but what if I'm, like, horrible?
Then we fire you.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess so. That would make sense.
Only place to go from here.
Just kidding. Do you ever have where like you see people outside in, as I like to call it, the real world, and then you can't quite place them because you aren't expecting to see them outside of like where you generally see them, and then you're always a little confused by that narrative?
Remember that happened to me that one time and I was texting you. We went to the SWAT fundraiser and
As in SWAT?
yeah, like SWAT, like a SWAT team. And they have it every year. It's a big fundraiser. So and they have like a bunch of raffles, like the Cancer Support Center, like really good ones. So we're there and I was just scoping out the room, making sure I didn't see anybody like from high school there that I would have to hide from. And all of a sudden I see this guy and he sees me and we say hi and we smile and then we walk towards each other and we give each other a big hug and we say like, how's it going? What's going on? And I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for my husband to get my drink and okay, have a good night. Goodbye. And I get back to the table and I text Alysia and I'm like, do you know who this guy is, Alysia? Like, I thought it was somebody I had met, like, through one of your friends.
Oh.
Because I think at that, I had just started, like, really hanging out with Alicia's group of friends. So I thought, and then Alicia's like, I don't fucking know who that is. So then I'm texting my high school girlfriends, like, who is this guy? I don't know. Like an hour and a half later into the night, I'm still staring at this guy, wondering who he is. We hugged each other. He was my butcher, you guys. His name is Toby.
No, but that's also the worst. Like, you know somebody, but you can't place that.
It would be the equivalent of like like Aiden, like anybody who goes. We didn't even say each other's names. We just knew that we intimately knew each other.
Intimately knows your meats.
Yeah. Well, we did smile a lot at each other.
So maybe he just had the hots for you.
Well, then once I figured out he was my butcher, I was so embarrassed. And I'm sure he didn't know
How did
that.
you put two and two together? Like, was it the next time that you went?
No, it was in that moment that evening. And I just texted everybody back. It was my butcher. So then I go to Rob's, go back a couple weeks later, behind the counter, serving up the meats, passes me off to the next butcher and runs in the back room to hide from me.
Because he's just as embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because you guys intimately hugged.
Did not-
You guys embraced.
You guys both did not know where you knew each other from, but you knew that you knew each other from somewhere.
You know what it was? It was probably like the same thing where you guys thought you guys knew each other from a way more intimate setting.
Mhm.
And then you guys later didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I was like,
So I never.
we acted like we were like second cousins or something. Like, you know,
You're like best friends.
Yeah. I never went back in there after that. I never went back to Rob's. No, that was it. That was it for me.
I think the secondhand embarrassment would get me as well. I think I would also say no longer.
I was literally just pretending like it didn't happen when I walked in there. I was gonna get my steak fajitas and move forward.
The sad thing is that place is a really good butcher.
It's very good.
Well, I would like to update on Pilates. We have since been going to Pilates weekly.
Yes, I have not. I had to cancel my last one, but I have one on Thursday.
I think we're going to the same one on Thursday.
Are we all going to Thursday?
Can we all try?
You got 10 a.m.?
I think I'm at 10.
Yeah.
I think I'm an 11.
What?
Pilates is great. These girls have been keeping up.
Pilates is wonderful. I've been really enjoying it. I'm really glad we're doing it. And I'm going to keep it up. Yeah, I got you bitches some grippy socks. Like they came in such a big bag of like so many that I said, let's share the wealth. You know what I mean? There was no need for me to have like 8. I don't know. It was like 7 or something obnoxious. It was a lot. If anyone would like to fund Little Fern's Pilates classes, we will start a GoFundMe.
If you want to donate to Macy's Moving Out Fund, you can donate that directly to Alysia and Nora at Little Fern to pay her salary for her new position.
On that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful spring day wherever you are. It's not raining as much as it is here.
Stop so we can go home now.
Finish your drink. Don't forget your jacket if you're still wearing one. Enjoy your week. Get out there and move your body. We'll see you later.
We will see you guys later.
Bye. It's Nora, Alysia, and Macy.
We are a girly podcast and we are on the floor.
Did I go the wrong way?
You definitely did.